The legend of Voltron, defender of the universe.
Welcome back to Retro Wednesday, the Tidarium Hanger. This is Mike, and I'm coming at you with another video. This time I want to talk to you about something special, and it's the elusive Voltron Castle of Lions, made by Panosh Place back in the 80s. And I do want to say there's a few things to say about this that nobody else talks about. First off, there's two versions of the castle, and the parts are not entirely interchangeable. And there's a lot of things you can do with this, with the play features, and a lot of fun to be had. We're going to get into all this coming up. First off, I want to show you the exterior of this thing, and it does sort of match the animation. Now, some of the colors don't match up or line up just right, but for the most part, it does look a lot like it. So if you got this as a kid, it was close enough for an 80s playset, and matching the on-screen, it worked. Starting at the top, we do actually have what they call the escape pod or a shuttle, and it does have actual engines in there. There's a place sort of to stick a figure or two, I guess. Then it shows this handle, so you can see a handle right here, so you can pick it up and you can use it as a carrying case. Now, it's not really secure enough to use as a carrying case, but you do have a handle to lift it up and move it around if that's what you want to do with it. So it's pretty cool. Now, the plastic does get brittle over the years, so using it as a handle, maybe the handle will give after time, but that's an interesting feature that goes with it. Now, moving down here, we have a lot of stickers on it, and luckily these stickers are holding up on this one. Not all of them have the stickers holding up. You do have this symbol right here, and yeah, it's had a little bit of wear. These things do get some wear. And down here we have the front door, and there's actually an automatically opening feature to this front door. We're going to show that later on when we open it. Hopefully I can demonstrate that a little bit easier once we've opened it up. We're going to be giving the castle a bit of a 360 treatment and look, and yeah, some of my stickers are worn. It is what it is. Some of these, I can whiten these. I whitened a couple, but I wasn't really sure if it was doing what it should do or getting the job done. I did have a broken clip on mine. I will be replacing that. They're actually real easy to swap out. I think it broke in shipping, but at the end of the day, this is such a fragile playset. Also, I'm glad that's all that broke. Yeah, something that's easily replaceable instead of one of the bigger panels, which I don't know if I could even remove a pin. And here's this angle. It looks pretty good. Looking at some overall comparisons, this is the size of it compared to the Matchbox figure, and I think that looks good. This probably would have looked great in the 80s if you were a kid and you had the castle and you had the Panosh Place figures in the castle, and then this Voltron, and you just kind of use your imagination that they went in there. But the cool thing, of course, with Panosh Place was that the figures fit inside the lions. And of course, since the Soul Chogokin or the Fantasy Jewel like mine are about the same size, they look good too. It looks really good standing next to the Soul of Chogokin Voltron. Here it is standing next to the most recent offering, and so this is the Playmates that made this one, and I think the Playmates one still looks good. It has its issues, but I start to think it's a little bit too big for this. I also thought that this one was too big for it also. And here it is next to the Matty Collector. Definitely does not scale. Will not work, even though the figures would work. So all opened up, this thing is full of play features. We're going to go through each one at a time, just kind of giving you a shot of the whole thing. It looks really cool. It's a whole lot of fun. Let's get right into it. Let's start at the top over here. We can turn these around, and a couple things about it. First off, if you want to, you got to get it just right to open it, and then you can take it out if you want. You could have one of your Voltron pilots sit in here and man this gun, and you could actually have them man it pretty much anywhere. They don't actually sit, they stand. I'm sorry. Anyway, he can man the gun anywhere. You can move this turret or whatever, but it's supposed to stay right here, and we'll, for the demonstration purposes, let them man it. There are 4 guns on the top, 4 turrets, and they each have a different gun. Moving down, we have these larger cannons. But see, on the other side, it just folds over. But this one, you actually have to remove it and replace it and then fold it out for your attack gun. Now, I guess you could, if you wanted to, have a figure standing here manning it. It actually showed on the box. The box actually shows a lion manning it, so that was kind of interesting. I don't know if that's the way it's supposed to go, but we could try it. There we go, as seen on the box. Okay, moving down, we do have like a missile pad there, which is kind of cool. It works. I don't know exactly why they did it like that, but you have to have something in there, right? And the fact that it's an extra piece that's removable, and it's blue, and it looks good, and they were able to like make it on the same sprue as this stuff, I guess, pour it with the same pour. Then we got into this bird table. Now, I don't know the significance of it. I found out, and now I forgot. So, whatever. It's a bird table. There it is. And looking at it, it's a bird. And it's a white table. This thing's actually kind of hard to find. And to me, it's like I don't even care about it, but yet I had to get one. So there it is. Now, looking, if you can notice, there are more spaces for guns. So the same guns that plug in up here, which there are 6 different guns, there are holes for the extras to go down here. And you're going to see that I have different guns on each one. And the thing about it is, there are enough to put 2 full sets of guns in the whole playset. And so I went ahead and did it. This here is considered a repair bay piece, and it is movable. You can move it around, because it doesn't really make sense to do a repair bay kind of thing way up there. So right here, it's repairing a lion. Oh, you got some damage. Let's repair your lion. So that's really what that thing's all about. So moving closer in here, we can see this is Princess Allura, and she's in her father's tomb. Now, I have to admit, I'm not an expert on the show. I watched probably about 20 episodes lately, but I still haven't seen this whole father's tomb piece. So there is a sticker in here that looks like a mummified person. There's this red cover, which again is another challenging piece that's sometimes missing. But the coolest feature in this whole tomb area is when you pull this forward, you see her father, and she can talk to him, and he looks like he's right out of the cartoon. Let's get a better angle and shine some light. And Father, what do I do? Oh, go ask Voltron for help? Okay, let's go do it. So next up we have this whole middle piece here. So there's a lot going on in here, and trying to get a good angle so we can see everything that's going on. And looking at this part right here, you can see that we have a bit of a control panel. You can select your lion that you're talking to. All right, let's get a little more light on that, and you can say, hey, I'm Yellow Lion, come in. I'm sitting right here. What are you doing flying around when I'm not in you? Yeah, that would work. Hunk's just chilling. I do have all my figures with the helmets. I leave that in my favorite, my best version of the Voltron, because I don't want to lose those helmets. They're getting hard to get. Now down here we have a little table, and let's see what happens when they get together at the map table. So they're in here talking about what they could do about Prince Zarkon. You know, he's going to be like, hey, Keith's going to be saying, hey, didn't you try to like pick him up and have a date with him? And Princess Laura's like, oh no, I didn't do that. But anyway, the little table is kind of cool. I like it. It's something that you could tell it goes here because of the cutout, the sticker, the way it is, and that's where it should be. But it doesn't stay in place. It just kind of flops around. And if you pack everything up and close it and move it, you don't know what you're going to open it up to look like. Again, there are some stickers all around this, which look really great. It's just cool that you've got some sort of dimension to it, and they did do that with the stickers and the artwork, and I like it, if they held up. Same thing with this side of the castle. I do want to point something out. When you turn these, it gets kind of hard to turn them sometimes, and you're stressing the plastic. You do need to hold on to this while you're turning it. Be very, very careful. I've seen a lot of cracks in this area because it's so thin to accommodate this. Now this gun can just simply flip over, and that's really cool. And then we have different guns up here. We have storage for guns up there, 2 here, and then 2 down below. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there's only 6 guns that come with it, so you can technically have all 6 guns on each side. And well, it comes with 6, so you could store 12 total. That would work. Anyway, moving into this, there's there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on this side, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the other, so it's 12. Now we have a couple more features. Now I didn't pick up an extra one of these just for fun. I said, why not? So you could put this pretty much anywhere. The next feature or function of this would be to lower them into one of these, and to their little shuttles pods when they go to Voltron. And it's interesting because it kind of locks in the up position, but once you start letting him go, he just goes into it. It's not very graceful. So you lower it down into this little vehicle, a little transport vehicle to go to the lion, and it kind of makes sense. It's cool that they do that. I guess I should have used Pidge, and then we'll run over to the green lion. There we go. Get in that green lion. Now, I will be honest, I did get 2 of these. I could have gotten 3, 4, or 5 of these if I wanted to, but I wanted to get 2 because I was probably going to get a version 1 castle eventually, and I think the version 1 castle can accommodate the same, of course, of anything that doesn't plug in. And the difference between the 2 castles would be what plugs in. So it doesn't matter if I get 1 or 2 of these or 5 of these, but a second one for the other castle is going to be great when I finally track down a version 1. So I do want to show you a couple of variant parts. Now we're going to look at, I got 2 different tables here, and of course, again, like I said, I was planning on getting both variations. I still haven't found a variation 1 for the right price that is in good enough shape, that's not all yellowed and stuff. But the only difference I can see between them, I mean, they look the same. The lower piece looks a little thicker, like the brighter blue one looks thicker, and there's a hole in it. And it seems like there could be a hole in that too. This one's far more worn than this one. So I'm guessing this is the version 1, and then this one would be the version 2, simply because it's a much better, bluer, brighter blue plastic. Maybe it's just my guessing and I'm guessing wrong, but I'm going to keep this with my version 2, and I guess this will be my version 1 table. Hopefully my version 1 table comes with a better one in better shape than this thing, but there's one difference. Let's look at another difference. So the next difference I want to point out is this plug-in, and it is the same consistent plug-in all throughout, that it has like a notch in it. So it's got built-in give, like it'll give a little bit. But this other one here is solid, and you can see that this is solid. So the version 1 will have the solids on it, and all the stuff doesn't quite fit right now. It fits if you give it a bit of a push. It fits. I mean, everything seems to fit, but there's no give to it. Now maybe that's a running change improvement, but it's much, much different of an issue than what we're going to see coming up. Tim, and he was pointing out to me to watch out if you're getting a different castle, because there's 2 different versions. And first off, on the left is the version 1, and on the right is the version 2, and I believe that's the way it's going to be for all of these pictures. I believe. I can't be 100%. But anyway, looking at this, you're going to see on the left side a couple of differences. You're going to notice that they have the way the tabs tab in. You cannot swap out these at all. You can't swap the blue pieces with the base, and you cannot swap the base with the actual playset. So again, on the left is version 1, on the right is version 2, and you're going to see that you only have 1 notch in the version 1 and 2 notches in the version 2. Therefore, you can't swap the turret pods. Now you might be asking me, well, Mike, how am I supposed to know the difference between a version 1 or version 2? Okay, if you're looking on eBay or Facebook or whatever, and you're not in person, the easiest way to tell which version castle you're looking at is the way it's put together. So version 1, and the one that's going to have all the one on the left, is one long continuous bar that's put in there for the connection points on the 2 points where the castle folds. On the right, you're going to see that it has a small section of connection point at the bottom and a small section at the top, 2 separate rods. So that's the easiest way to tell if you've got a version 1 or a version 2. And the reason it's so important, of course, is to know how to go after the parts. Here is another difference. This is another difference here. You have a longer piece on the version. I believe the longer one is for version 2. And the shorter one on version 1, I may be wrong on that. I don't know. This is one that's real tough. I can't really figure out because I have two of the exact same ones. So trying to figure out which one's longer, which one it is. But I have the version 2, and I think mine's a little bit longer. And that's why I assume the shorter one is, of course, for the version 1. Again, you can't even swap the control panels. Now, I don't know. I'm looking at this real close, and I'm kind of thinking the way mine plugs in, I probably still could swap them, but they're different. Like, it's a different setup. Your one tabs in, and the other one plugs in with some holes. So again, I mean, I don't know. That's crazy that it's so different. I heard it was a copyright issue or something. And then down to the connectors. Like, how these little connectors, where I have one broken piece on mine, I've got to be real careful which connector I go for, because I might get the wrong one. I'm going to show you a feature. When you push in on this, you actually open that front door. So as I push in on this, I'm going to show you the other side. Alright, so I'm about to push in on this, and we're going to see the front door opening and closing, and opening and closing. And that's kind of a cool feature. And then of course once it opens, lions can come out, or people can come out, or go in, or whatever. Let me know what you think about this Retro Wednesday and this look at the Voltron Castle Lions by Panosh Place. Did you have this growing up? Do you have one now? Is this one of your holy grails? Because I know I've wanted one for a long time and finally got one for a good price. And it took a bit to complete it. But I think it's really cool. It's a lot of fun. And at the end of the day, you can close it up with all of its parts and pieces in there. Even if you want to leave the figures in there, throw it on a shelf. And it packs away very, very well. Let me know what you think. Like, subscribe, Teddy Hanger out.